Nina mani, nai nari Kumatpi Marrutya, nai wangandi mani na budni kani yatana irindi yata kata perindi my kara apindi. Hello, it's wonderful that we can come together through the Mukundu, the lightning brain on the computer. My name is Mickey O'Brien, and it's wonderful that we can not only sit on Kaurna country, but we can also talk about the Thoughtful Leadership series. And so I want to talk to you about some stories of leadership from my people. And our people told stories not just to give us an understanding of the values of life, but also to take these stories with us, to have ownership to these stories and to have purpose, to recognise and then to impart this knowledge to others. So as I begin these stories, I hope that you can find a connection to these stories and find what it is that you're looking for in your life to become thoughtful leaders. As I probably have said, my name is Mickey O'Brien and I'm known as the impatient one. And I am a sixth-born male of 7 children of my family. My journey has been a journey of many things. As a young person, I learnt some of the cultural values by visiting the mission on Point Pearce on the Yorke Peninsula of my mother's country, the Narungga land. But I spent most of my life and was born on this country of Mudlunga, or as the French call it, the Fleurieu Peninsula. And living in Port Adelaide or Yardabulti, the place of sleep, was where my journey has begun as a young person, learning from both my father and my mother, plus also my aunties and uncles. And so later in life, after I had taken my educational journey and also my sporting journey, I found myself, considering my cultural connections to this place, because I am a fair-skinned person, and largely that's because I was born during the day and my brothers were born at night time. But that always concerned me. And so I was taken to a great leader, a wadi, a person of law, and to ask them whether they would take me on the journey of learning knowledge in that deepest sense. To my surprise, the leader of those people of culture said no to me. He said that he needed me to learn the Western world ways so that us in those cultural ways could be supported and live in ways that would enable us to understand both worlds. And so I've taken my journey to not only work and live in the Western world, but also to gather those cultural values so that I can share them with not just only the Western world, but to also enable my countrymen that live in the cultural world. And because of that, I've always seen the importance of that in what I do. And I hope that you can understand that as I come to share with you, not just only my stories, but the stories of our people, and really the love of this country that our people have always shared, that we want to impart with you. So I hope that's a little bit about me, and let's learn a little bit about you. NAIDOC Week is a week where we celebrate Aboriginal people and the contributions they've made. This year is an unusual year because normally NAIDOC is in July, but this year it's in November. And that's largely because of the epidemic that we've been witnessing all. And this theme for NAIDOC this year is always was and always will be, which is really centred around saying that the land that we stand upon has always been Aboriginal land, and it will always be Aboriginal land. But what's interesting is during this time of the COVID, we saw a beautiful painting by an artist who put on there, using that theme of always was, always will be, said, always wash, always dry, Aboriginal hands. And I think it's really important for all of us, because when we do a welcome, it's saying, are you well when you come to a place? And wellness was important because we didn't want to bring sickness upon people. It really does demonstrate the importance how when we do meet with people that we are in good health and that we are well, so we don't pass on sickness to people, because as we've seen, sickness affects all of us. And so I hope not only during NAIDOC Week, where we get to celebrate Aboriginal people and what they've done in contributing to this wonderful nation, but hopefully we get to see you in the community, which is really important. Today I'm going to share a story about how this great elder wanted to take all the knowledge and wisdom of our people. And so he took a big bag like this one that I wear today, and he went around to all corners of the earth, collecting all of this knowledge and wisdom and putting it into this bag. And once he had collected all of this knowledge and wisdom, he decided he needed to hide this from everybody because he didn't want anybody else to have this knowledge and wisdom. He wanted to keep it for himself so that people would come and ask him all the things that they needed to know. So he found this tallest tree and he started climbing this tree. But it was becoming difficult for him to climb this tree because the weight of this bag was holding him down from climbing to the top of the tree. And as he was climbing, all of a sudden this young person walked by. And the young person called out, great elder, I can see that you're struggling. What is it that you're doing? And the great elder said, boy, it's none of your business. Move along. But then the boy called out again. He said, great elder, I can see you're struggling. I can help you. And again, the great elder said, boy, it's none of your business. On your way. And then as the elder started climbing again, all of a sudden he fell from the tree. And as he fell from the tree, all of that knowledge and wisdom spread across the nation again. So that we can not only find that knowledge and wisdom, so that we can earn that knowledge and wisdom, and we can search for that knowledge and wisdom ourselves. Because no one person should hold all of the knowledge and wisdom. It should be shared. But what really surprised that great elder, what did this young person have to say that could be of some great importance to him to reach the top of that tree? So he went to the young person. He said, what were you going to tell me? And the young person said, I was going to tell you, great elder, because I could see that that bag that was sitting on your big belly was holding you down from holding onto that tree. And all I wanted to tell you was, if you put the bag to the back of you, you would have more ability to get your arms around that tree, therefore hopefully climbing to the top of the tree. But he said, how did you know this? Because I have all the knowledge and wisdom, you couldn't possibly have anything that you could be of importance to tell me. And so the young person said to him, great elder, it's just common sense. So in life, we can have knowledge, we can have wisdom, and it's very valuable that we get that. But that sits in our minds and our brains being the muka. But it's what we do with it that's really important, and that's where our heart comes into play. Because our people believe that our face tells us where we're being, but our heart tells us where to go. And so, like that young person did, we can always learn just from our young people as much as we can learn from our books or our older people. But it's important that knowledge and wisdom is shared. It's not owned by anybody, and that we look after it. But more importantly, we use it for good. So I hope you enjoyed that story. I hope you can find a message in there that relates to you as you take your journey. Today, I have a story for you, a story about how this young person went to the great elder and asked if they could become a great leader of our people. And so the great elder said, I want you to take a journey to the tall mountain, and you have 4 days to take that journey. And on that 5th day, I'll meet you at the bottom of that mountain. And the great elder gave this young person a bag similar to this one, to take with them. So they went on this journey. On the first day of climbing the mountain, they heard something. It frightened them, and so they ran down that mountain. On the second day of climbing that mountain, in the distance they could see an animal, and it was running towards them, and it chased them down that mountain. On the third day of climbing that mountain, they became thirsty because it was a hot day, and so they went in search of water. On the 4th day of climbing the mountain, they became hungry, and so they went in search of food. So on that 5th day, the great elder came to meet the young person at the bottom of the mountain, and the great elder could see that there was sadness in the eyes of this young person who was sitting there. And so the great elder said to the young person, "Why are you so sad, my son?" And the young person said, "Well, I never reached the top of the mountain, great elder." So the great elder said to the young person, "Tell me why you didn't reach to the top of the mountain." And so he said, "Well, on that first day, I heard something in the bushes. It was a snake, and it frightened me, and so I ran down that mountain." And so the great elder said, "Well, I want you to reach into the bag and pull out one of the items that I gave you in the bag." And so he pulled out an item that had a symbol on it, a symbol of an ear. And he said to the young person, he said, "In life, we need to have good listening ears, not only to hear the dangers around us, but also to hear the words of our people. And when we understand the words of our people, we know what to say to our people." So great listening ears gives us great knowledge. He said, "What happened on that second day?" He said, "Great elder, as I was climbing, something was coming towards me. It was a great big parenti, a big goanna, and it chased me down the mountain." So the great elder said, "Look into your bag, my son." And so he looked into his bag and he pulled out an image of an eye. He said, "In life, we not only need to see what's in front of us so that we can avoid those dangers and take a different direction, but in life, we need to know what was behind us, being the past, but also what's in front of us, being the future. But not be afraid to take different directions, either side, as we move forward." And so a great leader needs to have great directions. He said, "What happened on that third day?" He said, "Well, great elder, I became thirsty and I had to go search of water." He said, "In life, water is very important for us because it keeps us alive. But also, the idea of searching for water is also about searching for knowledge and wisdom. When we search for knowledge and wisdom, we're able to improve our knowledge and wisdom. And that's important when we become a great leader." So he reached into his bag and he pulled out another rock which had the symbol of water on it. Because the symbol of water says that we drink at the fountain of knowledge or the well of knowledge. And that is where we get that saying. So he said, "What happened on that fourth day?" He said, "Well, great elder, I became hungry. And so I went in search of food. And therefore I caught a tanda, being a kangaroo. And so he said to him, 'Look into your bag again, my son.' And he pulled out this rock. And again, it had the symbol of a kangaroo being a tanda. And he said, in life, food is important for us to keep us well and healthy. But food is about sharing. It is about saying that we didn't take what we wanted, we took what we needed. And when we took what we needed, we were able to leave things for another day. And so in life, we must share our knowledge and wisdom and those things that are important to us. So though you may never reach the top of that mountain, it wasn't about reaching the top of the mountain. It is about taking the journey. And so the great elder said to the young person, "You will become a great leader because you have taken the journey." And so I encourage all of you to take the journey. Some of you may reach the top of the mountain, and that is important and valuable too. But if you don't take the journey, you will never reach your purpose in life. So good luck on your journey. Nakara and Naichaya. Thank you.